Good day to you. In this video, I'm going to explain how to fill out the DS-260 form. So it's something really to take seriously because it can help you to get your visa or to be denied. And for you to be able to fill the DS-260 form, this is an electronic form, so it has to be filled online. For you to fill it, you must be connected to the internet, all right? And it is an electronic form, as I said. To get access to it, you need to make use of a site named travel.state.gov. This is the website you need to go to for you to be able to see the DS-260 form. So you're gonna have to click on travel.state.gov, and then it's going to give you this window here. There are so many things, but you are looking at US visa, all right? US visa, one more time, it's gonna give you so many things, but you need to click on immigrant. This is the category of visa that you are about to fill the form. And then you can see there are so many choices here. There are many categories of visas here. For this particular case, we are looking at diversity visa. Click on it. It's gonna open basically a window here, another window. You see it gives you all the steps. As first step is submit entry. This is something that we have done, and then we have been selected, and but for now you need to go to the step number 5, where it says submit your immigrant visa and alien registration application. Here they are referring to the DS-260 form, the form that we are talking about, all right? Then you click on it. Once you click on it, there'll be another page that will be open where it says submit your immigration visa and alien registration application. So you are looking for form DS-260. You can just right click, you can click on open in a new link, all right, or open a new window if you want. All right, so you can see here there's 2 categories of visa. It's about a non-immigrant visa and the immigrant visa. So you are not, let me try to put it big here. You can see, okay, I'm trying to zoom in. You can see there's 2 categories of visa, as I mentioned, the non-immigrant and the immigrant. For DV lottery is the immigrant visa, all right? So you will come to DS-260, online immigration visa and alien registration application. So this is the one you have to click on. You click on that one. Let me try to reduce this window. So it will give you this page where it says this site is not, so don't worry about the red message that appears here. Don't even worry about it. What you have to do here, you must click on continue. Once you click on continue, it will give you this form to sign in, and by signing they're just asking you to you can go through all these information. It's very important, and you must tick this check box here where it says I have read the terms of the privacy and notice. You must remove 40. All right, I think you get this point. Very nice. Now you can click on continue. And here it is going to ask you to put the details about the applicant. The details that we are referring to, some of the details are on this page here. So they are asking you the applicant's name. In this case, the applicant's name is this one, Muzingu. Just going to, let me just, okay, Muzingu. And then date of birth, it's 18 December 1995, sorry. And now here they ask you to enter the electronic diversity visa confirmation number. Here they are referring to the confirmation number that was attached to your profile from the first day that you have entered the information. So I'm talking about the day that you have applied for the DV lottery. Let me try to explain that page. So remember, when you play for the first day, you have been given this message saying that the DV 2022 submission confirmation entry received success, and then there was, the entry for blah blah blah. The thing is here, confirmation number. This is the what they are referring to by confirmation number. They are referring to this number that contains digits and letters that was allocated to your profile the day you have submitted your entry into the program. All right, so this is the number that they are referring to. The confirmation number that belongs to this profile here is not the one that I am showing you. Why? Because for security purposes, I don't want to provide a real confirmation number. Okay, so for this confirmation number here, I'm going to put the correct confirmation number, and then you have to let me just put this one for for tutorial purpose, for video purpose. I'm going to paste it as it is. It's not the correct one, so I'm going to skip at some point so I can put the correct one just for security purpose. Then you have to come here, I am the applicant, and then you must type the characters that appear here on your screen. So it's CC 5U DMY. I'll continue by clicking to continue. All right. So once you find yourself on this page where you have to pay your attention, it's where it says principal here. You can see it is listed only principal because the selectee or the person who got selected here is only one person. Let's say that it was a couple, so it would say principal, and down below here there will be a space for derivative or spouse. We're going to say spouse down below here in case this person was married. This guy here is not married, it's a single person. That is the reason why you can see it only says principal, and as the applicant it says incomplete. Why? Because this form up to now is not completed yet. As for your case, you might say here it says start instead of incomplete. So don't panic. Why starting? It has to say start because you did not start your application yet. That is the reason why it will tell you to start. So if it says start or incomplete, it's okay. What you need to do, you can just click here where it says start or incomplete. So in case it was a couple, first of all, there will be a place provided for the principal, which is going to be basically this line here. And the second thing will be the line reserved for the derivative or the spouse. So you don't feel both the woman and the wife in case you are married at the same time. You're going to have to start, first of all, maybe with the principal, and then you can go for the derivative or the spouse, either way. Or you can decide to start with the spouse, and once you finish the spouse, then you can come to do the principal of this applicant. But for now, you can see it's only one. That is the reason why we are only going to fill the information regarding the principal. So if it was a married couple, we're going to fill the principal first, we complete it, and then we could be now filling the derivative because of being two different persons, you cannot fill all of them as one applicant. No. In this case, it's going to be completing DS-260 form for two different persons. So let's say that you understand this, and then you're gonna have to come to start here or incomplete. Click just below. Click on it, and once you click, it's gonna prompt you to a next page. So this page is going to be like this. Let me just scroll down here. Oh, it's too big. I'm trying to make it a bit small so we can see. All right. So you can see, guys, I didn't want to use a real case number for the privacy purpose. That is the reason why I am using this sample here. You can see it even stamped as sample. But don't worry, the informations are correct and the informations are the same as the way they appear on your screen. And by the way, this form, PDF form that I'm going to show you how to fill has been provided by the American government. So there's nothing to worry about here. It's just an example because I didn't want to use a real case number for security purpose. All right. So I give you time to go through all these informations because me, I went through it. I don't want to waste my time here by reading these informations. But definitely, I would like you to take time to go through all these information so you can understand what are we talking about here. So you can understand what is waiting for you. Then after you've read all these informations, you're gonna have to certify, to agree to terms and condition of filling this application. Then you're gonna have to tick this small this box here, this check box. You have to click on it. It's gonna give you possibility of check on it, and then after doing that, it's only after you do that that you'll be able to now come to click on continue. So once you click on continue, it's gonna give you access to this next page here. So this page, it is about personal information page. By personal information page here, we are referring to, for example, your surnames, your given name, your full name. But what is interesting here is this note here. Look at what it says. Data on this page must match the information as it is written in your passport or travel documents. So the information that you'll be submitting and putting on this page have to match the one that are found on your passport. They have to be the same so that you don't get any complication along the way. All right? But I would like to give you some of the explanations because I know the terminology when it comes to someone's identity here in America might differ from country to countries. For example, in Africa where I'm coming from, we have a certain way of using the terminology when it comes to using a name and surname and first name and last name and so forth. So because this is American standard, I'd like you guys to get an understanding as to how to deal with this kind of terminology once you find yourself on this page. Therefore, I made available this page. Let me just pull that page here. It's a web page. And if you have a middle name, obviously, you'll provide that middle name. So this is the surname or your name here. You have to provide it. Then the second thing is about given name. So given name, let me get back to this page, is this one, first name or given name or name. The name that your friend used to call you where you grew up, that's your given name. But your last name or your surname or your family name is the name that you used to be called at school. That's your family name, that's your last name, and that's your surname. I just wanted us to get this right because this terminology gets people confused because the way we are using this terminology in Africa are different from the way are used here in United States of America. So basically here they are asking you to provide your surname, to provide your given name, and then to provide your full name in native alphabetic. So just provide your full name in native alphabetic. And what is important here is the fact that you can click on does not apply, technology not available, something like that. So the second question, the next question will be, have you ever used other name such as maiden name, religious name, professional name, alias name, etc.? So maybe it might sound, this terminology might sound a bit strange to use, terminology such as maiden name. So maiden name, they are basically referring to the name that has been given to a person. I mean, when you were born, you were not given that name, but as you grew up, due to circumstances of life, due to changes of life, then you happen to be given this name. For example, a woman who got married to a man will get the name of her husband. That will become part of her identity. So her husband name in this case is going to be qualified as maiden name. So if you are a woman and you are married to the husband, as you know, you'll get the name from your husband. So in this case, if you have such name, the question that has been asked to you is this one: have you ever used other name such as maiden name? Your answer will be yes. And then if your answer to this question is yes, there will be an option that will be open to you here after you just selected on yes, which will now ask you to provide that maiden name. And in that case, you will then provide that maiden name, okay? But if you don't have that name, don't stress, you can just select no, and then you can move on. The next section or the next question will be about knowing your sex or knowing your gender. If you are a male, you click on male. If you are a female, you click on female here. And then you come to current marital status. So there's a drop down button here. Once you click on this button, it's going to give you a list of choices. If you are single, if you are married, if maybe you are separated, or if you are divorced, and if you are widow, you might find those kind of information. So select whichever option that goes with your current marital status. So the next section will be about date and place of birth. So here it is very easy. It's about let's speak about the format. The format, it is day, month, and year. So you can click on this button here. Is going to drop down a list of number. So you're going to select the day you were born. Once you click on this drop down list here, is going to drop down the month from January to December. Then you select the month you were born, and obviously here you're gonna have to type, you're gonna have to end type using the keyboard the year where you were born. And then the next section is about the city where you were born. City where you were born, just provide it here. You can just type it, and state or province where you were born, you can just provide it. In case you do not know the state where you were born, this is optional, it's not obvious. You can then come here, select does not apply. But if you know and you are willing to provide one, you can just type here. And this is obvious, it's the country or region of birth where you were born. So you're gonna have to click on this button here. It's going to drop down a list of countries or the countries in the world. Then you can choose the country that is yours, that says that you were born in that country. Okay, for these other informations here, I'm going to leave it to you. You can take time to go through it. I went through it, and then I don't want to waste my time here on just reading these informations. You can go through it, and then that will be interesting for you to know what they are talking about here. So the very important stage or the very important things that you must do is whenever you happen to provide the information here, before moving forward or before leaving this page, you have to click on save button. That is going to save it into the database so that next time if you get back, you're going to find the information that you just typed. Because if you don't do that and you leave this page for 20 minutes, and this is even one of the part of the instructions that are here, if you leave it for more than 20 minutes, once you come back, the system will kick you out of this page if for 20 minutes or more you have been inactive on this page, and then it's gonna reload the page. You will definitely lose all the information. That is the reason why, for you to avoid losing any of the information that you just provided, whenever you are done and then you are below the page here, just click on save. Once you click on save, your information will be saved into the database, and then you can either leave the page or come to next page. Okay, let's assume that you've filled all the information. Now you also saved those informations. You are now about to go to the next page. Then you click on next page. Once you click on next page, it's going to take you to this page here. This page here is just an example of a page that is already filled. So remember, we already said this, so we're not gonna waste time here. So they're just telling you in case, for example, where you say that if you have any maiden name. So if the answer to that question was yes, as I mentioned, is going to provide you with this space here, this text box, so to speak, so you can be able to provide those informations. Okay, so the next page will be this one. That is the most important page. Also, you have to be attentive. You have to pay attention. It's about personal information number 2. So here they are asking you the country or region of origin or of nationality, because you have to provide which country you were born. So once you click here, it is going to ask you to select the country where you were born. And then obviously the second section is about the type of documents that you have to provide for you to be given visa. Once you click here on this drop down, it's going to give you the possibility of providing passport or any other type of document. But please, the official documents, type of document that's allowed to be given visa to is passport. So if you don't have a passport, this is the right time for you to get yourself a passport, because it has to be a passport. Then you're gonna have to select passport because that is the required document here. And then a document ID is the number on your passport. Remember, there is a number on your passport that is proper to your passport. It's an ID, identification of your passport. You're gonna have to provide exactly that number the way it appears on your passport. And obviously, they'll ask you to provide the country of issuance, or the country or the authority that issued documents, the country that issued that document to you. Basically, the country you got that passport from. Okay, you're gonna have to provide that passport. And then insurance dates, you have to provide that insurance date. It's about day, month, and year, and expiry date of that passport. A passport has to be valid, because once a passport is already expired, and if you try to provide these informations on this page, the system will tell you that this passport seems to be expired. So it has to be current, must not be expired. The next question, do you hold or have you held any nationality other than the one you have indicated? If the answer to that question is no, no. But in case the answer to that question is yes, in case the answer to that question is yes, the system will ask you to provide the name of the country that you have held also the nationality for. You're gonna have to click here, and then to list you the name of countries in the world, then you select that country. So the second question will be, the next question will be, do you hold a passport from the country or region of origin nationality above? Let's say that you have selected one of the country for which you have nationality. So the question is, do you have a passport for that country? If the answer is no, you come to no. But if the answer to that question is yes, then they will tell you to provide the number on that passport. Then obviously, as I mentioned before, moving to next page, you have to click to save here. Click on save. So let's go to the next page. Here it is about the present and previous address information. So here they'll ask you to provide your present address where you are currently living. It's going to be street name, as you can see here, the city, the province. If it's not applicable, you come to does not apply. If you don't have any zip code, I know most of African countries don't have zip code, then you come to does not apply. And obviously you select the country. So when did you start living in that address? You're gonna have to provide the year and the month and the year where you started living in that address. So the next question will be, have you lived anywhere other than this address since the age of 16? Since you have turned 16 years old. If the answer to that question is yes, you're gonna have to provide the information about those addresses where you lived in. So this is the meaning of this question. But in this case, if the answer is no, you come to no. Then they'll ask you to provide your cell phone number, etc. If you don't have work phone number or secondary phone number, you can just click on does not apply. So the next question is, have you ever used another telephone number during the last 5 years? If the answer is yes, you're gonna have to provide it, okay? If it's no, it's no. When it comes to email address, you have to provide a real email address that belongs to you. So have you ever used other email address during the last 5 years? If the answer is no, you come to no. If the answer is yes, you select yes. Then it will ask you to provide that email address. Let's now come to social media. For social media, they are talking about Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn, things like that. So if you have account, you're gonna have to come to this dropping down here. You click on it, it's going to list you with the list of social media. Then you'll have to select. If you got Facebook, you select on Facebook, and obviously they will ask you to provide your identifier in your Facebook, which is the name that you put on your Facebook, the name where people used to look for you on Facebook. That is the identifier or the ID of that type of social media that they are referring to. So the last question on this page will be, do you wish to provide information about your presence on any other website or applications you have used within the last 5 years to create or share content, photos, videos, status, updates, etc.? The answer to this question must be yes, in case you did something like this. I don't want you to click on save, then you can come to next page. So the next information is about mailing and permanent address information. So the question will be, is your mailing address the same as your present address? So if the answer to that question is yes, then you can come to yes. If no, you come to no. But let's say the answer to that question is yes. Then we'll ask you to provide the permanent address. Please provide the following information on where you intend to live after arriving in the United States of America. So here they are asking you basically to provide the name of the street where you'll be living in the United States of America. But since you are not living there, here they are just referring to the host, the information regarding the host who will be or who is willing to host you or to give you a place to live in United States of America. So basically you're gonna have to provide the name of the person, of that person, and currently where he is living in the United States of America. So you're gonna have to provide the street where that person lives, your host, and then the city, the state, the zip code, and the cell phone number of that person. And then the last question on this page will be, is this address where you want your permanent resident card or green card mailed? So basically, the address where you are going to United States of America to live in can also be different from the address you want your green card to be mailed to. So if the answer to that question is that you want your green card to be mailed to another to be mailed to another address, then the answer will be no. And then the system will ask you to provide the information regarding the address where you want your green card to be mailed to. But in case the answer is that this is going to be the same address for both where you'll be living and for where you will get your green card, then you can say yes, you're gonna get your green card to that address. Let's say let's read this question. Is your mailing address the same as your present address? Yes. Is your present address where you want your permanent resident card? Yes. Then you click on save, you go to the next page. Okay, we've seen this. It's about information regarding the place where you'll be living. So once you're done here, another information is about the family information or your parents' information. So let's read this note. It says, please provide the following information concerning your biological parents. If you are adopted, please provide the following information on your adoptive parents. So you got a father, you're gonna have to provide the name of that father. It doesn't matter if he's still living or he passed away or he died. you still have to provide the information regarding your father. You're gonna provide his surname, his given name, his date of birth, and you come here where was he born, the city, the state, the country where your father was born, okay? And then the next question will be, is your father still living? If the answer to that question is yes, you're gonna have to click on yes, okay? Then you have to provide the information regarding your mother, her name, her given name, her date of birth, and etc. And the question will be, is your mother still living? If the answer to that question is yes, you come to yes. If the answer to that question is no, then you select no. However, for the question regarding whether your mother or your father is living or not, if the answer to that question is not, meaning that your father or your mother passed away, then the system will ask you to provide the year to this question, is your father still living? If you say no, that means that your father already passed away. So the system will provide you with this small text box here to provide for you to punch the year of death of your father. So if your father passed away, then you're gonna have to provide the year where your father passed away. Same apply for your mom. If your mom passed away, you will have to provide the year of that death, of the death of your mother. Then you click on save and then you go to the next page. Alright, let's scroll down because these information is already the one that we spoke about there. Let me quickly scan it. Alright, we see that. Then the next page will be, excuse me. So on this page here, it shows in case you already filled how it's going to look like if you fill the information regarding your father or your mother. So I have to go to this page. On this page here, it is about family informations. They are referring to spouse. So this is about spouse. So here, let's say you are the husband who is filling this page. So in this case, you're gonna have to fill the information regarding your wife if you are married. Okay? You give, it says please provide the following information on your current spouse. They are asking about the surnames of your spouse, your wife or your husband, the given name, date of birth, city where he or she was born, state and province, and country where she or he was born, the address where he's living, the occupation, basically what is he doing. Is she woman who is working or a husband is working somewhere, you're gonna have to provide those informations. And then dates and place of marriage. Guys, I would like you to be careful on this page. Let me make it big. All right, let me try to zoom it out so you can see. So here it says, where was I? Sorry. Oh, looks like I lost that page. I got it. It's about date of marriage. I'd like to draw your attention on this because unfortunately we tend to make mistake here. By date of marriage, they are not asking you to provide the day where your wife was wearing a white robe, that wedding dress, and you were putting on a nice suit. Then people were celebrating in a room. I don't know how it was like, if it was in an open area and there was a lot of people, a lot of food, people were celebrating. They are not asking you to provide that date because that is not the date of marriage. The date of marriage is the date that is found on your marriage certificate. Therefore, we know that we are given marriage certificate before or prior to that wedding, to that white wedding. Basically, it's few days before. So by date of marriage, they are referring to the dates that is found on your marriage certificate, which have been given to you the day you went to the authority of your country to register your marriage. So that is the date of marriage they are referring to. They are not referring to the party that you held or that you have thrown with your friends and family that is not the date of marriage. Let me repeat again. It's the date that is found on your marriage certificate, which is given to you prior to the wedding day. So that is the date that they are referring to. And obviously they will ask you, so you can have to select the month, the day, the month, and the year of that marriage. Okay? And the city where that event has been held, the province of where that event was held, and the country where you have held that event or where you have registered your marriage. So the next question will be, is your spouse immigrating to the United States of America with you? If the answer is no, you can select no. And the second question is, your spouse immigrating is your spouse immigrating to United States at a later date to join you? If that is the case, then you're gonna have to say yes. If not, not. But you must know that if the answers to these two questions are no, it means that you'll be the only one who will be immigrating to the United States of America. When it comes to your spouse, never ever he will be able to travel and going to the United States of America. But that's going to cause you so much issue because the embassy or the consular officer at the day of interview will ask you that you are a married person. Why would you like to go live for good in United States of America? While you are guys planning to leave your husband living in your previous country without he or she being able to join you in the United States of America. I don't know, but that can result on a visa denial. So when it comes to these questions, please guys, I would like you to be careful. But mostly, as we know, that the answer to this question will be yes, because you want to immigrate in the United States of America with your wife. And to the question, is your spouse immigrating to US at later date to join you? The answer will be no, because you are planning to move together. That's the simple thing to do. Yes, you come to save, and then you can move to next, or you can move to next page. And on the next page is going to speak about spouse information also. Okay, this is just an example of what you have seen. Let me scan quickly. All right. So the information that you need to fill here is this one. Please provide the following information on your current spouse. Your current spouse, you have to provide the information, date of birth, city, state, and etc. And so here they say, in case your spouse is not working, you're gonna have to provide the explanation as to why your spouse is not working. Okay? Because they assume that your spouse should be working, but if he or she is not working, it should be for a reason. So you have to provide that reason here. Let me scroll down because you already spoke about this information here. Then here, let me quickly have a look at here because we already spoke about this. So the other major information is this one. The answer to this question: do you have any previous spouses? So let's say you are on your second marriage, or on your third, or on your fourth, or on your fifth, I don't know which number of marriage are you in. So if that is the case, meaning that you got married more than one time, the answer to this question will be yes, and the system will ask you to provide the information about your previous spouses. But if the answer is no, then you say no. Okay? But let's say the answer to that question is yes. Then, as I mentioned, the system will provide you I will give you this access, get you access to this page here so you can provide the information. Okay? Let's say it will ask you in the number of previous spouses. If you got 4, and then the system will give you possibility of adding 4 different identity of your previous spouses. Their name, and their surnames, and the date of birth, and the date of marriage, and the date of marriage ended. Here they are referring to the dates on your divorce certificate. You're gonna have to provide this certificate at the day of the interview. Obviously, these informations must be correct. And then they'll ask you, how was your marriage terminated? what led to that divorce. You will have to provide the information here because it's not something easy. And then the last question on this page will be country or region where marriage was terminated. So the country where you got your divorce. Then you come to save and then you go to the next page. So the next page will be about children. So for this page, the question will be, do you guys have any children? If no, no. But let's say you say yes to that question, meaning that you have children. And then they'll ask you the number of children that you guys have. If two, you're gonna have to write two here, and then the system will give you the possibility of adding two different children. For child one, it will say child one, you will have to provide the surnames and given name and date of birth of that child, where it was born, the city, the region of that child was born. And then the next question regarding that child will be, does this child live with you? If yes, yes. If no, no. And the question will be, is this child immigrating to the US with you? If yes, yes. If no, no. Okay? All right, and then this is going to be for the second child in case you have more than one child. All right, and then if it's still living with you or is gonna move with you, then you can provide answers to those two questions. So the next question will be, have you ever been refused a US visa or being refused admission to the United States or withdrawn your application for admission at the port of entry? So let's say you have applied for any other reason or any other type of visa to travel to the United States. If you traveled or if you did not travel, but you happen to apply for an American visa, as long as you've applied, you must keep in your mind that the details or the information you have provided by the time you have been applying are still in the database of United States of American system. So if that is the case, to this question, the answer has to be or must be yes. Yes, why? Because they have all your informations. If you did that and you happen to say no, and whilst you are filling this DS-260 form, the system will take those informations and then keep it in the database. But now the problem is, on the day of the interview, the consular officer will see contradiction between the answer to this question and the informations regarding you that are already found into the database. Then you will be a liar. Trust me, that is going to be a straight denial for the fact that you have lied for something that you did. It doesn't matter if you got refused the visa or whatsoever. As long as you have applied, you happen to go to American system and punch in your details, please, you will have to say yes to this question, okay? And then if answer to this question is yes, they will now ask you to provide these informations, okay? To provide the information regarding what they're going to ask you, what the system will ask you. Now, the next question will be, have you ever been in the United States of America? If yes, then you will have to provide the following information. Here, they are referring to where you, they are referring to when you issued an aligned registration number by the Department of Homeland Security. If no, no. If yes, yes. And then it will ask you to provide the date you have arrived in the United States of America and the length of stay. Let's say you have been given a 6-month visa. So once you have arrived in the United States of America, how many months did you live in the United States of America? So this is what they are referring to by length of stay. You stayed here for 6 months, in terms of 6 months of visa that has been given to you, or you stayed here only for 1 month or for 3 weeks, something like that. Provide those informations in the system. Tell them that is true, because those guys, they know everything. Next question. Have you ever been issued a United States visa? If the answer is no, no. If the answer is yes, yes. Then they'll ask you to provide the date visa was issued. because every American visa or any visa in the world has issuance dates. So you have to provide the day, the month, and the year of that issuance of the issuance of that visa. Okay, and then you have to select the visa classification. Was it for study? Was it for employment? Was it visiting, something like that? So all the category or the classification of visa provided in the United States of America are in this list. So you're gonna just have to click on this drop down list and then you select the visa that allows you to come once in the United States of America. And then it will ask you to provide also the visa number. So the next question is, have any of your US visa have been lost or stolen? If yes, yes. If no, no. Then you can provide those informations. If any of your visa, of your US visa, have been cancelled or revoked, if the answer to that question is yes, yes. If no, no. Next question. Have you ever been refused a US visa? Being refused admission to the United States or withdrawn your application for admission at the port of entry? If the answer to that question is no, you come to no. So let's go to the next information. Here they are asking you to provide your present work, education, training informations. Okay? Here's the notes. Notes. Provide the following information concerning your current employment or education. So here they are asking you about your primary occupation. Basically, they are asking you in life, what are you currently doing? If you are working, you would say you are working. Anyway, to drop down list here, you're gonna have to click on this small arrow here. It's going to drop down a list, and then you will select what suits you the best. And you come here, in which occupation do you intend to work in the United States of America? So if you think of being, let's say, an IT guy, or let's say a teacher, or let's say you want to become a soldier, you want to go to military, it is allowed here. You can do that. An example, I'm just giving an example. Then you'll have to click on this drop down list here. It's going to list you with so many options. Then you will go for the options that suit you the most. Okay, and then obviously don't forget you click on save, and then you can now move to the next page. So the next page, it is about we carry on work, education, training information page. So here they ask you to provide the primary occupation. Let's say it's agriculture. Okay, so this is just the completion of the information that we've seen above. Okay, primary occupation. If you are working, you'll have to provide the name of the employer where you are working, and the address of that employment, the address, everything about regarding the address of that employment and the country of that employment. Okay, and then they'll ask you if you have another occupation. If the answer to that question is no, you can select no. If yes, you say yes, and then whenever question they're going to ask you, you have to provide the information. And then it says again, in which occupation do you intend to work in United States of America? Remember, this is just the continuation of the page that we've seen above. So let's say if you are planning to be working in agriculture industry, then you can select agriculture. If something else, you can go for something else. It is allowed here in the United States of America. So basically, this page is just the continuation of what you've seen above. You just have to scan down so you can go to what is important here. All right, one more time. Okay, so the question will be, the next question will be, do you have other occupation? If yes, yes, then you're gonna have to select it. For instance, this person is a homemaker. So for you, it might be something totally different. You select what that different type of occupation you guys have. All right, so let me just scan down here. Let's go to the next page here. Okay, we did this. All right, if you're not employed somewhere, you'll have to provide a reason why you are not currently working. Okay, also this is the same thing that you have seen. Let's scan down again. The next session will be that of education. So we'd like to get information from you about your education level. So to these two questions, first question will be, were you previously employed? Remember, this is about the employment. We already spoke about it below. So what is interesting here on this page is this second question, where it says, have you attended any educational institutions at a secondary level or above? So if the answer to this question is no, you'll have to select no. If it is yes, then you're gonna have to select yes. But you have to be careful here because they want you at least to be someone who has high school diploma. So basically, if you have a high school diploma, then to this question, the answer will be yes. And if you select yes, this is how it's going to look like. Let me just go to the second page where it is about education. Yes, so let me try to put it a bit big. I'm going to zoom it out so we can see well here. So to this question, if they ask you, have you ever attended any educational institutions at secondary level or above? And if you say yes, remember, as I mentioned, that you have to at least have high school diploma. Then they will ask you the number of educational institutions that you have attended. All right. So if you went through 6 different institutions for the completion of your secondary level of study, you're gonna have to say 6 here, and then the system will provide you with the possibility of filling only information regarding all those institutions that you went for your completion, for the completion of your secondary level of study. You can see it about the address and the cell phone number, the province that that institution was found. And then here they'll ask you the country of that institution, or the name of the country of the school you went for your study. And they'll ask you the courses that you study in that institution. And the degree of the completion, it might be a diploma or something like that. And they'll ask you the dates you started attending school in that institution and the date you have ended, the completion of the year or the years in that institution. So if you went to more than one institutions, then you'll come here, you click on add another. It will give you another window with all this information so that you can be able to provide those informations because they are very important. Just to recap, it is very important for you to be able to provide a high school diploma because they will at least need you to provide high school diploma on the day of the interview, because that is the most required document when it comes to education. So let me scan here, go down to the next page. It is about employment. If they ask you were you previously employed, if the answer is yes, then you'll obviously provide the information regarding the employer, the address of that employment, the cell phone number of your supervisor of that company, your job title in that company, and the identity regarding the supervisor, and the time you started working in that company, and when you stop working in that company. They would like to get those kind of informations. Okay. All right. So this is about education. We already covered it. So let me go to the next page here. Just try to put it a bit in the middle here. So this is about employment. We already cover all these requirements, all these questions. Okay, at some point they might ask you to provide the answer to this question. Does this job require at least 2 years of training or experience? So if that is the answer, you will say yes. In case that in case the answer to that question is no, you'll have to give some description, why that type of job that you have been doing did not require of you to at least uh, have done 2 years of experience or training. If you did not go to school for that job, why you did not go to school for that job. I mean, some people are more qualified to do a job without having to go to a certain school. So you're gonna just have to provide those kind of informations, because this is what they are referring to by asking you to provide if does this job require at least 10 years of training or experience. Okay, maybe the question might be to you. I mean, they are asking this question because you might not have high school diploma. But if you did 2 years of training for the particular job that you have been doing, and you become expert or you become good at that job, and for the fact that you at least got you went to training for 2 years and then you don't have high school diploma, this experience can qualify you to be given visa. For the fact that you are not able to provide high school diploma because you did not go that further, but instead you did some training for 2 years, which qualifies you to be more qualified enough to do to have I mean, preferred skills that are needed here in the United States of America. So those skills can also uh, get you qualified to be given visa, even though you don't have high school diploma. That is the reason why they are asking you these questions, because you just want to know the level of the experience that you might have, which can be beneficial for the country. Let's go to the next question, the next page here. It is about if you have been previously employed. So we already covered this one. We go to the next one. All right, so this is about they want to get some information about you, about your background, because they'll ask you if you traveled to any countries or regions within the last 5 years. If no, no. And the second question will be, have you ever served in the military? If the answer is no, you select no. But in case the answers to these two questions are yes, so if you traveled to any countries or regions within the last 5 years and you say yes, the system will ask you to provide the name of the country you traveled to within 5 years. And then you click on this drop down list. Here is going to populate it, or it's going to populate all the countries in the world. You will select the country you traveled to within 5 years. And if your answer is yes to the question wanting to know if you have ever served in the military, if you say yes, that is not an issue, but they will ask you to provide the name of a country or region where you have served as being soldier, and the branch of that service, the rank, position in that service, the military specialty, if you are having those any other specialty for that country where you served as a soldier, and they will require you to provide the dates where you started serving as being soldier, and if you happened to retire from the military service, they'll also ask you to provide the date where you stop serving as soldiers. Because for you to travel to the United States of America, if you have been a soldier in the military in another country, you need to provide them with a document that will attest that you have been in the military, but you stop working as a soldier. Because if you were in the military and you are not able to provide that document on the day of the interview, that will result in you being denied the visa, because they want things to be clear. So let me go to the next page here. It's about the question if you have traveled in any other country. So in case the answer to this question are no, that's going to be very easy for you to select no. Okay, let's go to this question. Have you belonged to, contributed to, or worked for any professional, social, or charitable organization? If it is no, no. If yes, yes. But let's talk about no, in case all the answers to these questions are no. Let's go to the next question. Do you have any specialized skills or training such as firearms, explosives, nuclear, biological, or chemical experience? If no, no. Have you ever served in, being a member of, or being involved with a paramilitary unit, vigilant unit, rebel group, guerrilla group, or insurgent organization? If the answer to that question is no, you come to know. But if the answer to this question is yes, that might result on you being denied visa, because this kind of background, the Department of State takes it seriously. But you must be careful, give the answer that is correct. Give what you are really. Don't hide anything, because they might find out. And if they find out that you have been lying, you'll just be denied your visa. It's better to say the truth and to give some explanations than to lie, than to be caught. Okay, the last question on this page is here. Can you speak and or read languages other than your native language? If the answer is no, no, that is not going to harm you from you not being able to speak other languages than what you know from your country. So let's say you come from a country where the only language you have been speaking is French, for example. I'm just giving an example. That means that you do not know how to speak English. Okay, to this question, you might say, oh, if I don't know how to speak English, they might deny me a visa. No, they will never deny you a visa for the fact that you do not know how to speak English. In fact, they don't care if you know or not how to speak English. Knowing that as you travel to leaving your country, coming to the United States of America, and as you start living here, you will definitely learn and you'll start speaking English. So it's not an issue. But because it is about background check, they just want to know more information about your personality and what you are capable of. That is the reason why they are asking such kind of questions. So don't worry about this question if you the only language you speak is only your native language. That is not an issue. So next page, they're asking you if you have traveled or if you have served in the military. We already covered this page, so I'm just gonna quickly scan it and go to the next page. Okay, so if they ask you if you have traveled to any other country or region within the last 5 years, you say yes, then you're gonna have to select the country. So if they ask you to the question, have you ever served in the military? Remember, as I mentioned, if the answer was yes, and this page was going to be closed. But because if the answer was no, they were not going to give you this all this field here, all this text box, you know, to write anything. But if you say yes, meaning that you have served in the military, the system will provide you with possibility of filling informations. So they'll ask you to provide all these informations. And in fact, you already covered this page, so I can just go to the next page here. All right. And then the question, if you have belonged to, or you contributed to, or you worked for any professional or social or charitable organization. If you say yes, they'll ask you to provide information about that organization name. Next page, about you being specialized or having any skills or training such as firearm, explosive, nuclear, biologically or biological or chemical experience. If the answer to that question is yes, obviously they'll ask you to provide explanations about the skills that you guys have regarding that particular field of service. All right, this is about being in the military. Remember, as I mentioned, so if you have been doing those kind of things, then you'll have to provide the information. In case the answer is no, you just scan it and then you go to the next page then. Okay, this one we already talked about it. We go to the next page here. So here they are asking you about the informations about the petitioner. They say, please provide the following information concerning the individuals or entity that filed a petition on your behalf. If the petition is, it says petitioner is my. Once you click here, it's going to drop down a list of type of that petitioner might be to you. It might be your father, your friend, your uncle, your relative, something like that. So once you click it, you're going to just choose what is the position of that petitioner to you. If he is your father, you will select your father. If it's your uncle, then it's going to be your uncle. And if it's none of those, either your father, your uncle, your friend, that might also be yourself. Okay, let's say it's your father. So they'll ask you to provide the name of your father, his identity, and the address where your father lives, and his contact number, the country where that father is living currently. Okay, and obviously his email address. But in case, they'll also ask you the details about the employment of your petitioner, the name of the employer of your petitioner, the name of the company or organization where your petitioner works, the address of that company of your petitioner, the country where that company is found, and the details regarding that company, the company of your petitioner, and also the email address of that company where your petitioner works. Okay, but it might happen that the petitioner of yours is you. Let's say you are the one, yourself, or the petitioner. You can also select yourself as petitioner. That is one of the options which is also acceptable. But the thing is, you just have to be able to provide to the consular officer the information which will tell them that you will be able to sustain yourself whenever you arrived in the United States of America, for the fact that you don't have any petitioner to sort of cover you. Let me go to the next page. It is about the security and backgrounds. They are here talking about medical and health informations. Okay, so let's go to the question. The question is, do you have a communicable disease of public health significance such as tuberculosis or TB? So if you don't have any sort of illness, you just come to know, and then you come to the next question. The question is, do you have documentation to establish that you have received vaccination in accordance with US law? If you say no to this answer, they will tell you to provide the explanations. Why? Because anyone who leaves this country and who comes to the United States of America must at least be able to provide a documentation attesting that you received some sort of vaccinations in his country for him to be able to live in this country. For example, everyone who comes from Africa traveling to the United States of America, that person must have been given a vaccination, for example, against yellow fever. So once you receive a vaccination against yellow fever, you'll be given a certificate. So that is the documentation to establish that you have been received a vaccination in accordance with the US law that they are referring to. So if you are coming from Africa, you must have that document. In case you don't have that document, they will ask you to provide the reason why you don't have that document. Okay? Next question. Do you have a mental or physical disorder that possesses or is likely to pose? Sorry, let me read again one more time this question. Do you have a mental or physical disorder that poses or is likely to pose a threat to the safety or welfare of yourself or others? If no, you say no. If yes, you say yes. But in case you say yes, they'll require you to give the explanations. Anyway, we're going to see it on the next page. But in case the answer is no, you come to no. So the following question, are you or have you ever been a drug abuser or addict? If no, no. All right, in case the answer is yes to this question, do you have a communicable disease of public health significance such as tuberculosis? Maybe your question will be why these guys are just targeting tuberculosis. Well, this is a serious matter in the sense that here in the United States of America, TB or tuberculosis has been already eliminated. So if you are suffering from this illness, it's going to be difficult for you to get treated in this country. That is the reason why if you have you have it or you had it before, you have tuberculosis or you had it before, they would like you to provide the explanations. Let's say you had it before and then you got over it got finished. So in this case, you will have to explain that I had this before, but I got treated and I don't have it anymore. So you can have to provide those informations here, because here they take that illness seriously because they don't treat it anymore. So they don't want you to travel, leaving your country to come here to die having tuberculosis, because it's gonna be too much for them to get you treated. Or as you know, tuberculosis is contagious, so you can come here and then contaminate other people. That is the reason why they just want you to provide more information so that you can be able to travel. But if you have TBs, they'll ask you to get it treated, to get cured from it, and then you can be accepted to travel in the United States of America. All right, about the vaccination, remember as I said that if you have any documentation that establishes that you have received a vaccination in accordance with US law, if the answer is yes, then it's going to be fine for you to go to the next question. If you have a mental disease or something like that, which can become a threat to the United States of America, if the answer is yes, you will have to provide the information regarding that illness. But when it comes to that, you don't need to worry, because someone might say that I had this issue in the past, but for now I'm fine. And if I say yes to this question, is it going to result of me being denied visa? No. Any yes or any no answer to any questions that is here does not necessarily mean that you'll be denied visa. If you say yes to this kind of question, they will need explanation. Let's say you have been suffering from a sort of mental disease, but you got treated, or maybe you got some mental health issue, but which does not represent a threat to the United States of America. So the answer to that question will be yes, but then you will have to give some explanation here. And if you got asked that question at the day of the interview, defend yourself in front of the consular officer. That can result of you being issued visa because you give already explanations. Okay, so to the question, are you or have you ever been a drug abuser or addict? If the answer is yes, you can say yes. One more time, this question might sound a bit alarming to you. Let's say you have been abusing of drug before, and then you stop being a drug abuser for years. Now you're about to travel to the United States of America. So to this question, if the answer is yes, and then it gives you possibility of giving some explanations, as long as you'll be able to explain that years back I've been a drug abuser or addicted to drug, but I stopped being that. Now I changed my life, I become like any other citizen. That can be good for you because you'll be given visa for the fact that you are no longer drug abuser or drug addict. So as I mentioned, a yes answer to your question does not necessarily mean that you'll be denied visa. Okay, these kind of questions, we did not cover them yet. So the following questions will be, have you ever been arrested or convicted for any offense of crime, even though subject of a pardon amnesty, or other similar actions. So if it is no, no. Following question: have you ever violated or engaged in a conspiracy to violate any law relating to controlled substances? If no, no. Following question: are you the spouse, son, or daughter of an individual who has violated any controlled substance trafficking law and have knowingly benefited from the trafficking activities in the past 5 years? If no, no. Are you coming to the United States to engage in prostitution or unlawful commercialized this, or have you been engaged in prostitution or procuring prostitute within the past 5 years? If no, no. But you must be careful here. These questions, a yes answer to this question can result of you being denied visa, because United States of America as a country does not allow people to do prostitution in here. So if the answer to this question is yes, and then you support prostitution, you'll be denied visa straight away because it is not allowed in this country. Let's go to the next question. Have you ever been involved in, or do you seek to engage in, money laundering? A yes answer to this question will straight result on you being denied visa. Money laundering in the United States of America is not allowed. It is against the law of the country. The next question: have you ever committed or conspired to commit a human trafficking offense in the United States or outside the United States? A yes answer to this question will definitely result of you being denied visa. Human trafficking, it is not acceptable in the United States of America. Have you ever knowingly aided, abetted, assisted, or colluded with an individual who has been identified by the President of the United States as a person who plays a significant role in a severe form of trafficking in person? A yes answer to this question will result of you being denied visa, because this kind of acts is not acceptable in the country. The last question on this page: are you the spouse, son, or daughter of an individual who has committed or conspired to commit a human trafficking offense in the United States or outside the United States, or have you within the last 5 years knowingly benefited from the trafficking activities? A yes answer one more time to this question will result of you being denied visa, because human trafficking in the United States of America and any other form is not acceptable. So let's now go to the next page. Next page. Still, we are talking about background information. So let me try to put it in the middle here. Sorry, this is too much big. I think now we got it right here. Okay. Do you seek to engage in espionage, sabotage, export control violations, or any other illegal activity while in the United States of America? No, because if you say yes to this question, you are going to be denied visa. Do you seek to engage in terrorist activities while in the United States, or have you ever engaged in the terrorist activities? If you say yes, you'll be denied. Terrorism is not allowed in the United States of America. Have you ever, or do you intend to provide financial assistance or other support to terrorists or terrorist organizations? If you say yes, you'll be denied. Are you? It's too big. You're trying to do this. Oh, I think the best way is going to be to do this so I can be able to put it in the middle. All right. Are you the spouse, son, daughter of an individual who has engaged in the terrorism activity including providing financial assistance or other support to terrorists or terrorist organization in the last 5 years? A yes answer to this question will get you denied visa. Are you a member or representative of a terrorist organization? If yes, you'll be denied. If you ever ordered, incited, committed, assisted, or otherwise participated in the genocide? If you say yes, they'll deny you visa. If you committed, ordered, incited, assisted, or otherwise participate in torture? If yes, you'll be denied visa. So answer a yes answer to all these questions here. It's about background check. This will get you visa denied because all the activities mentioned here are not allowed in the country. Let's go to the next page here. Okay, this is blurry. It's anyway the questions that you already covered above. Okay, another question. Are you a member or affiliated with the communist or other totalitarian party? If you say yes, you're going to be denied visa. Have you ever directly or indirectly assisted or supported any of the groups in Colombia known as the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia or the National Liberation Army or United Self-Defense Forces of Colombia? So these kind of groups are the one that brings unrest in many different countries in the world, including the United States of America. So a yes answer to this question will get you denied your visa. Have you ever, through abuse of governmental or political exposition, conveyed for personal gain, confiscated or expropriated property in a foreign nation to which a United States national had claim of ownership? If the answer to this question is yes, one more time, you'll be denied visa. So the questions, all the questions also on this page here will get you your visa denied because they really take seriously background questions here in the United States of America. Okay, we already talked about this. In case you say yes to these questions, we'll have to provide the explanations as to how did you become and what were you doing while you have been member of, for example, communist or other totalitarian party in the world. Okay, just we're not gonna waste time here because you already spoke about it. Let me go to the next page. This is too big. I think this looks good. Okay, the next question. Have you ever sought to obtain or assist others to obtain a visa, entry into the United States, or any other United States immigration benefit by fraud, or willful misrepresentation or other unlawful means? So let's say that you have participated on people forging visa to immigrate into the United States of America. If you have helped any sort of people to do that, or any person to do that, you'll be denied visa because that is not acceptable in this country. The next question. Have you ever been removed or deported from any country? So a yes answer to this question does not necessarily mean that you'll be denied visa. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have been looking for asylum to a certain country because of the unrest in your country where you were born. Then you have to go, you flee. You have to flee to go to another country to look for asylum. And then you are not given asylum, and then you have not been granted asylum, but instead you were deported back to your country because the country you want to seek for asylum did not provide that asylum. Then they had to deport you back to your country. Yet you have been deported back to your country. So the answer to this question will be yes, but that does not necessarily mean that you're going to get your visa denied because there's nothing wrong that you did. You have been looking for asylum to another country, but they did not give you that asylum. Instead, they decided to deport you back to your country, especially if you have been running out of your country for lawful reasons. So that's a yes answer to this question will not result of you being denied visa. Let's go to the next question. It says, have you ever sought to obtain assist at a to obtain a visa entry into the United States or any other United States immigration benefit by fraud or willful misrepresentation or other unlawful means? So if you say yes, then you're gonna have to give the explanations. But because the answer to this question is yes, that is going to result of you being denied visa, because this kind of conduct is not acceptable in America. We go to the next page. Let me see. Okay. Have you ever sought to obtain or assist other to obtain a visa? We already covered this question. Let me go to the next question. Have you ever been removed or deported from any other country? So if the answer to that question is yes, but you're gonna have to give the explanation. But in case it's no, you say no. Have you ever been the subject of a removal or deportation hearing? If yes, you say yes. If no, no. Have you ever filed to attend a hearing or removability or inadmissibility within the last 5 years? So a yes answer to all these questions will result of you providing more information so that you can get to know the reason why you have been deported from X country to Y country. So they'll get some information from you. But as I mentioned, that does not necessarily mean that you get your visa denied on the day of the interview for the simple fact that you have been deported from another country. You just have to provide information. And if the consular officer is convinced with all your explanations, then you can be given visa. You just have to know, you must know how to talk and how to tell your story. Have you ever been ordered or removed from the United States of America during the last 5 years? If no, no. But if yes, one more time you have to give explanations as to why you have been deported from the United States of America back to your country. Have you ever been removed from the United States for a second time within the last 20 years? So if it's happened to you that within the last 20 years you have been deported from the United States of America 2 times, if the answer to that question is yes, obviously you'll have to give some explanation so that they can know the reason why you guys have been deported 2 times from the United States of America back to your country. And I'll go to the next page. So here this page explains, tells you that you have to give explanations in case the answers to these questions were yes. So we don't need to waste time here. Let me go to another to another page so we can move forward. All right, we already covered all these page here. In case the answer are no, okay, this is in case the answer is yes. You're gonna have to I gotta read this. These questions with you so you can understand. Let me turn on zoom it out. All right. Okay. So the question is: have you ever been unlawfully present or ordered removed from the United States during the last 5 years? If yes, you say yes, and then you give the reason why you've been deported from the country. Okay. Another question: have you ever been convicted of an engraved felony and been ordered removed from the United States of America? If the answer to this question is yes, you're gonna have to provide the answer to. You're gonna have to provide the explanations. Please, if that happened whilst you have been living in the United States of America, if that happened exactly, it happened, you must say yes, and you give some explanations. Why? Because if it tends to be that happened, but on the day of the interview, you decided to say no to this question, I tell you what, there's nothing you can do according to American law, especially if that goes against the law. There's nothing that you can do that will never be, that will not going to be saved into the database. So everything you go, you do that goes against the law of the United States of America will be kept in the country database. So in this case, if you have been involved in such kind of conduct, you must say yes, and then you give explanation. As I mentioned earlier, a yes answer does not necessarily mean that you're going to be denied your visa. It's better for you to say the truth and to give explanations to the consular officer who can understand you and give you a last chance to immigrate to the United States of America. Instead of you deciding to lie, and if they happen to find out the truth that you just lied, I tell you what, right on your face, the answer to your visa application will be denied. So better for you to say the truth than to lie. Have you ever been unlawfully present in the United States of America for more than 180 days, but not more than 1 year, and have voluntarily departed the United within the last 3 years? So if this is what happened, if you happen to live in the United States of America, and all these explanations here are one of the things that happened to you, and the answer to this question is yes, you say yes, but you're gonna have to obviously provide the explanation. Let me go to the next page here. It is about background security and background also. All right, they ask you, have you ever withheld custody of a US citizen child outside the United States from a person granted legal custody by a US court? If the answer is no, is no. But if it's yes, then you're gonna have to provide the explanations because this is not something easy. Next question. Have you ever intentionally assisted another person in withholding custody of a US citizen child outside the United States from a person granted legal custody by a US court? If not, no. If yes, you gotta give explanation. Have you ever voted in the United States in violation of any law or regulations? If no, no. Have you ever renounced United States citizenship for the purpose of avoiding taxation? If that is yes, you will have to provide the information because these kind of things also had happened to a certain category of people. So if you are one of those, then you will have to give explanations. So all these questions are yes or no. But in case it's yes, you'll have to provide the information. But as far as I'm concerned, most of DV applicants, when it comes to this question, the answer will be no, because the majority of people who have applied for DV lottery trying to immigrate in the United States of America are those who never ever been in the United States of America, who will be for the first time in the country. So that is the reason why the answer to most of these questions will be no. Let me go to the next page. Again, it is about background check here. So this is in case the answer to these questions were yes, then you'll have to provide the explanations. Okay. Go to the next page. One more time. It is about background check here. It says, are you a health care worker seeking to perform such work in the United States but have not yet received certification from the commission or graduate of foreign nursing schools or from an equivalent approved independent credentialing organization? So here they are asking you if maybe you are a nurse. You've been serving as nurse or you have been nursing in your previous country, but you were not given, let's say, a certificate, or maybe you did not complete your study in nursing school, but you already started serving as a nurse in a certain company. So if the answer to that question is yes, say yes. Okay, maybe you might wonder as to, okay, I've been serving as nurse, but I did not receive any diploma or any certification. Is that going to be used against me on the day of the interview, which can result of me being denied visa? That is not the issue. Remember, you are coming in the United States of America not because you have applied for work, but because you have applied for green card. So if it was that you have applied to come to work here as a doctor or as a nurse, and it tends to be that you did not have any qualified documents that allowed you to serve as such, that could be a subject of questioning yourself or for more reflections. But you are not coming as a healthcare professional in the United States. You are coming because you've applied for DV lottery as an immigrant. A yes answer to this question will not be an issue to you, even though you have been serving as nurse in your country, but you did not receive any certification. So don't worry to say yes if you have been doing that, because once you are in the United States of America, no one is going to allow you to serve as nurse as long as you don't have any documents. That being said, once you are here, you will have to go to school one more time so you can get now the real diploma, a real certification which can allow you to serve in the country. So with my explanations, so if the answer to this question is yes, say yes, because it will never be used against you. Let's go to the next question. Are you permanently ineligible for US citizenship? If the answer to this question is yes, and you say yes, you'll be denied your visa on the day of the interview. But if that is also the reality, don't say no, because there's nothing that they do not know, especially if your data or your informations are found within the American database. They know your fingerprints, they know your name. So just say yes. One more time. I don't know how many times do I have to say this. A yes answer does not necessarily mean that you'll get your visa denied. Say the truth, because the truth will set you free. We know the Bible says that. Have you ever departed the United States in order to evade military service during a time of war? I don't know much about war. I don't know much about military because I'm just a citizen, a normal citizen. But as far as I'm concerned, a yes answer to this question will result in you being denied visa, because this is a specific field of life that is taken seriously in the United States of America. They don't play with this. Are you coming to the United States to practice polygamy? If you say yes, you'll be denied visa right away. Polygamy is not allowed in this country. Are you a former exchange visitor who has not yet fulfilled the 2-year foreign residence requirements? If no, no. If yes, you have to give the explanations. So all these questions are a matter of yes or no. If you say no, you're good to go. If you say yes, they'll ask you to give some explanations. Let me go to the next page. Okay, as I mentioned, if you say any yes to all these questions, you'll have to give some explanations. All right. Next question. Have you ever applied for a social security number? Your answer will be no. Why your answer will be no? Because you'll never be in the United States of America. Unless you have been in the United States of America and you have applied for a social security number. That's only when you're going to select yes. But in case you say yes to this question, they'll ask you to provide answer. They'll ask you to provide some explanations. But as I mentioned earlier in this video, 99% of people will be watching this video are DV selectees. That being said, they'll never be in the United States of America. So to this question, the answer will be no. The answer will be no. Let's go to the next question. Do you want the Social Security Administration to issue a social security number and a code? Guys, pay attention to this question. Let me read this question again for the second time. Do you want the Social Security Administration to issue a social security number and a code? Obviously, to this question, your answer must be yes. Why? Because if you say no, you might be given visa and you will leave your country. You'll travel to the United States of America. But sadly, for the fact that you said no on the day of the interview to this question, and once you are in the United States of America, that means that you will never ever be given a social security number. However, for the fact that you don't have a social security number, never you'll be given work here in the United States of America, because everybody who works lawfully in the United States of America system must have a social security number. So if you say no to this question and you happen to be given a visa, you travel all the way from your country to the United States of America, you'll not work, because in every school, in every bank, everywhere you go to apply even for credit in the United States of America, they'll ask you to provide a social security card. So if you don't have it, then you'll be schooled. You'll never go to school, you'll never open a bank account, you'll never work in the United States of America because you don't have a social security card. Okay, let's go to the next question. Do you authorize disclosure of information from this form to the Department of Homeland Security, the Social Security Administration, and such as US government agencies, as may be required for the purposes of assigning you a social security number, SSN, and issuing you a social security code? And do you authorize the Social Security Administration to share your social security number or SSN with the Department of Homeland Security? Pay attention to this question. The answer to this question must be yes. Why? Because remember, all these two questions here go along, they go together. So as long as the answer to this question must be yes, once you said yes and you have allowed the you give the authorization so that your informations or your identity to be shared to Social Security Administration and to Social Security agencies. And if you say yes to all these questions, that is going to be good for you, because it's a long system, it's a process, it's a system that works here in the United States of America. So this means that once you say yes to these questions, your informations will be shared to Social Security Administration and the agency of the country, in such a way that once you leave your country, you travel to the United States of America. And once you arrived in the country, that will trigger the processing of your social security number. Therefore, once you are in the country, it will not take you time to be issued or to be given your social security card, social security number, because by the time you have been filling DS-260 form, you have already give allowance to the agency and to the to the Social Security Administration system to get all your information. So basically, once you give answer to this question, even though you are still in your country, Social Security Administration will sort of start processing your case here, so that once you are given visa, in I mean kind of your documents when it comes to Social Security card will be half ready. Once you are in the country and you go to one of the Social Security office to apply for that card, they will know already the informations regarding you, because you have allowed the disclosure of your informations while you have been filling your DS-260 form. So once you go to apply for Social Security number or Social Security card in the United States of America, in one of the office of Social Security number, they will know your informations, and then it's not going to take time for you to get your Social Security number. Me, the one talking to you today, it only took me something like 2 to 3 weeks to get my social security card, because the time I was filling this form, I said yes to these two questions. So I'm going to advance you to say yes to these two questions so that you can fasten your processing when it comes to getting your social security card once you are in the United States of America. I go to next page here. It's about social security number informations. So it says, have you ever applied for social security? We already covered this page below. That was above. In case you say yes, and then if they ask you, we issued a number, which is a social security number. If you say yes, then you're gonna have to provide that social security number. But one more time, I don't know how many times do you have to repeat this. You guys are coming have applied for DV lottery to travel to the United States of America. And in case you have been given visa, it's gonna be your very first experience to that. So you never ever had a social security number. Therefore, you don't have a social security card. So to this question, your answer will be no, because you don't have it. You need one. Okay. Let's go to the next page. If you ever applied for no, Miss Candy, because you already spoke about this. Okay, the next page is about signing and submitting your DS-260 form. I'm so sorry because this page seems a bit blurry, but I don't really mind, because I know as you are filling your DS-260 form, this page looks very clear and readable on your side. So it is about just going through all these informations. They all let you know as to what you need to know about you be able to fill out this form, DS-260 form. So it's okay, don't worry. On your side you will see it clear. Here looks a bit blurry, but it's not a problem. But what is most important things here is your signature. uh, 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 anyway, before the signature, there is one important question, which is, did anyone assist you in filling out this application? So if you are here, just gonna scroll down, and then you'll see where it asks you if there was anybody who assisted you to fill this DS-260 form. I would suggest you to say no. If you are the only person who failed and who will be submitting this DS-260 form, then the answer will be no. But in case there was someone who helped you to fill and submit this DS-260 form, it might be a lawyer, an attorney, or maybe your friend, I don't know, maybe a teacher. So if you did that, then at some point they'll ask you to provide the information about that person. But as I know, 99% of people who fill and submit the DS-260 form, they do it on their own. I mean, we are there to help you, but we are not signing or we are not filling those forms with you. We are just helping you, giving you the information so that you can fill it in the correct way. So the answer to this question will be no. And they will tell you to sign. So signature, it is going to be electronic signature. You're not going to have to sign anything here. But they will ask you to provide your NVC case, which is your case number, your national visa case or case number. You're going to have to provide your case number here. And then they'll ask you to provide the number of your passport. One more time, just a reminder, the number or the passport number that you have to provide here must match the one you provided for the first time when you started filling your DS-260 form. It has to be the very same passport, because remember, right in the beginning of this video, there was a place where I gave you information about how to fill the details or your identity from your passport. And at some points, they were requiring of you to provide your passport number. So the number that you put prior, that is going to be the very same number that you're going to have to put here. And the last thing they'll ask you to provide, it will say enter the code below as shown. So here it says 6E9T. But trust me, on your case, it is going to be a different number. It's a mixture or a combination of letters and digits. So you just have to type them exactly as they appear. But if you happen uh, to enter incorrect code, then the one that appears here, the system will generate within second. It is going to generate a different code which you can also type, but it has to be correct as it is shown on this page. And then once you type the correct word, I mean the correct code, you'll come to sign and submit application. Okay, so this page here, it's in case no one assisted you to fill and submit your DS-260 form. But let's say you got helped by someone beside you, someone who was working along with you physically. So then if you say yes to that question, they'll ask you to provide the information about that person, his name, his given name, you know, if he's a lawyer, which organization is he working for, you're gonna have to provide those informations. I mean, the address, you see, it's a long story. The address of that person, his cell phone number and things like that, the country where that person is found. So it's gonna be a long process. That is the reason why 99% of people prefer to fill and submit the DS-260 form on their own so that they don't get to answer to all these questions. So once you sign and you submit, all right, and then you'll be prompted to this page where they are talking about female genital mutilation or cutting. I mean, this is one of the practices that are done in most of countries in the world, but they will require you to read carefully the information here where it says where it says female genital mutilation or cutting government fact sheet. So there is a sheet here. Once you click on this link, it's going to pop up a PDF document that gives you all the details about American law regarding that practice, because that practice is not acceptable in the United States of America. I know some of African countries or some of countries in the world, this practice is more often common, you know, it's practiced in those countries, but in the United States of America, it is not acceptable. So they would like you to be aware of American law regarding that practice. So you're gonna have to click on this link. It's gonna open a PDF document which will give you all the information. But other than that, you'll come to I certify that I have received the US government fact sheet on female genital mutilation or cutting. I mean, this is the form. So once you certify that you have read all the informations and you got it downloaded on your computer, it can be a phone, then the form will give you the possibility of signing and submitting the application, because this red message says that click the button below to electronically sign your application. So once you certify here, then this button here is going to be highlighted. You click on it, and once you click on that button, you'll come all the way down here. There'll be what we call confirmation page. So this is how the confirmation page is going to look like. Never mind me, this page, as I mentioned, it's a sample. That is why you can even see that it is stamped as a sample. So the confirmation page will look like this one. And on this confirmation page, you will see your name, the country or region of your application, where you live, your country, nationality, where you are from, completed, the day that you have completed and submitted your DS-260 form. It's going to be dated here, it's going to be printed here, and your case number will be shown here, and your confirmation number will also be shown here. So because of security purpose, that you can see here, it's blurred, you know, just barred, just put a black mark here to sort of not disclose, you know, to mask a real confirmation number that belongs to someone. So for you, it's gonna be your real confirmation number, and you'll see a page like this. So you'll be prompted to, I mean, all the informations are here. You can just go through all these informations. I don't wanna waste time here. Don't wanna waste your time with this video. The thing that's important here is the confirmation page. So you're gonna have to print this confirmation page, but don't worry, this confirmation page will never disappear from DS-260 form. So as long as you have filled and submitted and completed your DS-260 form, you can still get back to your DS-260 form, and you're not gonna be able to bring any modification because of the fact that it will be already sealed. The fact that you have already submitted your DS-260 form, but you can go all the way down to this page, so you can print as many as possible the confirmation page, because as I mentioned, as long as you already filled and submitted your confirmation, your DS-260 form, this confirmation page will be found on your last page of your DS-260 form. And this is very important because on the day of interview, the consular officer might require of you to provide a confirmation number. Or before even the interview, by the time you are planning to go to the hospital to do the medical check, the physician at that hospital might require of you to provide a confirmation page that attests that you are one of the selectees, and then you filled, submitted, completed your DS-260 form. So it's one of the documents that you'll have to print out, then keep it on your folder, because you might need it. You might be asked this page. Basically, this is how you can fill, complete, and submit your DS-260 form. So if you found this video interesting, just going to ask you one thing: like my video, subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you in the next video. Bye.